Check, check. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Happy Sunday. Happy L1011 day yet again. Here we are back in the IndyBuilds pre-release L1011, and isn't she just an absolute beauty? Sitting here in the morning light on Los Angeles, sitting over at the heavy gates on the north side there. Probably could have snuck in over at near D25 near the real Delta gates, but why not? If you're taking a heavy, we got to go from the heavy gates. So one of the best liveries to ever exist on the L1011, without question, is the Delta widget. I absolutely love this livery. Looking really good here on the L1011. We got the black nose, got the old widget logo on the engines. So this is a special one for me. That widget just hits hard, doesn't it, Jeff? We got a flight up to Salt Lake City today. I got the Gaia simulation. Oh, no, who is it? I got a Salt Lake City scenery. I finally did it. I wanted to go to Salt Lake, but I'm tired of not having good scenery, so I finally went and got, I think, no, it's Flightbeam, actually. Is it Flightbeam? I don't know. I got a Salt Lake City scenery we're going to fly into. Check it out. Should be a pretty beautiful flight. I do have the sim time set back just a little bit, so it should be close to 7 a.m. in the sim time, which I think real life it's 8 a.m. 11, 10, 9. It's either 9 or 8. Maybe it is PAC-Sim. Maybe it is PAC-Sim. Thank you. But either way, we're ready to rock and roll. It should be a fun one. Welcome aboard Larry's World. Thank you for the 29 months of support back in the States. Finally, happy Sunday, man. Happy Sunday right back at you. Tim's in the house. Good to see you. Ken LeMay. What's up? Good to see you. Dougal McTavish. AJ Funar. What's up, man? Yeah, we're not going to Seattle, AJ. We're not going to Seattle. We're going to Salt Lake. We're going to Salt Lake. AJ Funar is in the house. Mike 85 is in the house. Jesse Ordonez, Ken LeMay, Zach Dill, Jeff, Classic Jet Sim Pilot in the house. Classic Jet Sim Pilot, can you please stop flying the CLS or CSS73? You're making me want to try it, man. You're making me want to try that old school retro 73. Good to see you, man. Chris PT6, my man. How you doing, Chris? Hope that all is well. And hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Hopefully you're not flying too much or working too hard. But, man, awesome shots on their last little adventure there. That was cool. Good to see you, man. Hope all is well. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody else. Digital Merc almost flew to Seattle today. Digital Merc almost did it. There was some rain showers in the forecast, but I think I'm going to be making a late brunch with the kiddos. So I had to pick the shorter route today. We're going to Salt Lake. But who's ready to rock and roll? Update on the autopilot issues that I've been having. I have determined that 90% of it is indeed the Brunner. I know what the problem is. I've solved the problem, but I don't have a solution to the problem, if that makes sense. Or I've identified the problem, but I don't really have a solution yet. I'm working with Team Vodka to help me out kind of with the CLS software. I might have to send a message to I&I because I know what's going on. So when I disconnect the Brunner software, it does work better. It's still not 100% on the autopilot. I'd like to see some autopilot tweaks to this aircraft before it releases, but we should be pretty much okay now, at least for standard flying. So we'll take a look at it today. We'll talk about that in cruise. I hope you guys are ready to rock and roll. I just look at the ramp presence of this L1011. I love tri-jets, and I don't know, man. I think the S-duct takes the cake. I've been seeing some screenshots about the MD-11. The MD-11 is good. I like three-holers, man. I love the MD-11 too. DC-10 is also really good, but there's something about that S-duct. Now, I really hope IndyBuilds will make more variants. So the longer variant of this, the Dash 1, is about 15 feet longer. There's a Dash 1. There's a bunch of different weird naming variants for the L1011. It's the Dash 1, right? Then it's like the 125 or the 150 or something. But there are multiple variants. The one that we have here from IndyBuilds is the 500, which you know by now, but it is the shortest of all of the variants that Lockheed produced. It was the latest generation of the L1011, the shortest but the longest range aircraft. It actually didn't have the lower galley. So the fact that we have a lower galley modeled, let's hope that IndyBuilds is already working on the Dash 1. They did say if the aircraft sells well, they're going to pursue that. So my job, since I am 100% biased towards the L1011, my job today and throughout the rest of this week is going to make you comfortable with the classic type of flying the L1011 can do. Now, Any Builds has the biggest hurdle, I think, for a lot of people that love to fly glass and you know, 7.3s and Airbus, which is great. I love it. I'm not trying to change what you like or don't like. I want to introduce you how Any Builds has made this very easy. If you can fly the 737, you can fly this L1011, no problem. With the way that you can do waypoint imports, it's no problem at all. So that's going to be my job, to help you guys get more comfortable with the airplane, because like I said, I'm 100% biased and I want it to sell well so Any Builds can make more variants. All right, so let's ready to rock and roll and fire this thing up. Vodka says, hope they remove the DS galley that doesn't exist on this plane. Yeah, we just talked about that. Captain McGee says, I'm always a child of the magenta. Listen, you can be a child of the magenta, my man, and you can actually be a child of the magenta in this aircraft if that makes you feel better. Should we rock the little TV screen? You want the little TV screen today? Let's do that. Let's go over here. Let's go to aircraft settings, and Delta did not have it, but we can do it for fun. We need the, where is it? Realistic map display screen. Map display screen. We're going to rock this today. All right. Now this was on the Saudia ones, but we're going to rock it on the Delta one. I'm going to show you how we use it. So let's fire this bird up, and we'll rock and roll. Turk says, learning to INS is ultra rewarding. I have orders of magnitude more fun flying old airliners than I do flying something modern. Totally agree, Turks. I totally agree with you. The satisfaction of completing a flight with old school is completely different than flying something like an Airbus or a 7.3. But we got to remember, there's a lot of younger generation in flight sim. They're like, I don't know if I want it. Just doesn't sound interesting. But if you can make it easy, then they might find it interesting. Then they really might enjoy the type of aircraft that this is. So let's go ahead and fire up. Let's get the battery connected. Battery on, sounds are up, and we're going to go right into external power. Boom, I'm going to do that to cycle the fuel tank pumps. We're going to go ground service to external power. That looks good. Aircraft's going to boot up, get some instrument backlighting here. We don't need a ton of lighting. Sun is coming up rather quickly here. All right, go up to the overhead, fire up these lights here real quick. Who is that? Delta Fan 311. Thank you so much, man, for the $5 super chat. What's up, V1? I'm not a classic jet kind of guy, but I'm still looking forward to the L1011, and your enthusiasm for the plane has me excited. Delta Fan 311, absolutely fantastic, man. I'm happy to hear that. Thank you so much for your support, $5 super chat. And like I said, today I'm gonna make. It's all about getting y'all comfortable with the aircraft, right? You get comfortable with it. You can really fly this airplane. It's more simple than a 7.3 in ways. If you use the features that Any Builds gives us to make it real user-friendly, real streamlined. Thanks for the support, my man. Appreciate you. All right, let's go ahead and start a little pseudo overhead flow. Let's get the position light on. We're going to get the logo lights on. We're going to get emergency lighting, standby power armed on both of those. We'll go ahead and leave the no smoking and fasten seatbelt sign off, but we're going to get the master radio switches 1 and 2 coming on. Then we're going to get our ADIRs into standby. ADIRs, look at that. Now I appreciate the comments. I'm getting tons of comments from mechanics, former pilots, people that worked on the L1011. I absolutely love it. Keep it coming. I'm going to start tailoring what I do to kind of mimic what you guys are telling me that you did in the past. So for this particular LTN, we're going to move everything into standby, and then we're going to put this into pause, and we're going to get our position. And once we get our position loaded, then we don't have to do anything else. We're going to import everything and make it super easy. But thank you for those that are commenting and on the replays and stuff. Some really cool information has been passed along, and I absolutely love hearing it. Love hearing it. So first thing we got to do, we got to get the position of the aircraft, and we're going to use our charts just like we would with any other airframe. We're going to go to our Navigraph, and we're going to be real accurate today. So we're going to go to the. Why am I not on? Sid, why am I on non-jet? Charts. How do I switch over to Navigraph? Oh, I need to connect Navigraph? I guess I need to connect Navigraph here. Give me a second. That is why. Reconnected. Alright, we should be connected, allegedly. Let's go to charts. Oh, I have to hit allow. There we go. I didn't hit allow. There we go. All right, with it allowed. How do I switch over to Navigraph? I knew there was a toggle somewhere, and I don't know where the toggle is now. I really don't want to use Lido charts. We're starting off great. Starting off great. Well, there's more than one way to skin a cat. We can use the EFB. But I know there was a toggle, and for some reason... Panel states, no. Helper, no. Aircraft. Throttle count, third party. We are connected. It keeps going invalid. Get a new code here. TS9E5 Lima 4 Delta. Right, it says successfully connected. Well, that's bizarre. I've never had that happen before. I've reconnected it multiple times. It's almost like the code just keeps expiring. I'll tell you what we can do. We'll just do this. We'll use our own Navigraph charts. Nah, we're not going Lido. Well, it connects momentarily, but then it drops. So that's all right. We'll use this EFB. We're only gonna use it for a little bit. I've refreshed the code, Christopher. I've did it multiple times. Like, it'll connect, but then it won't stay connected. It just keeps dropping the connection. You know what I mean? All right, but that's not a problem. Here we go. We're going to use the regular good charts here. We're going to go parking bays and coordinates. That's what we need. And we are at stand. We're on the north side of LAX, right? Let's see. So we need to find out where we are. That's West Bay. If Navigraph toggle ends up being the hardest part about this flight today, I might give this bird a go. Canadian, what's up, my man? Hopefully it is. Hopefully that's the hardest part today. That's the hardest part. Let's see. Terminals 1 through 8. That's what I need. I clicked the wrong one. All right. 1 through 8 terminals. And we're over here at gate 133. So to set our position, it's actually easier this way because we can look at the chart. We're going to come down here. We're going to look for gate 133. Let's see. Here we go, 131, 133. These are the coordinates right here that we are going to load in. So we're going to go north, 333356.6, insert, and then west, 11824.6, insert. And I did find out that you can't indeed put the position in remote mode, so that is correct behavior. 33567, insert, west, 11824.6, insert. We're going to do all three, and then we're going to import everything else. I mean, then we're pretty much done. It's that easy. North, 33567, insert, west, 11824.6, insert. Done. So now We'll go ahead and close that. Our position is in the INSs, so we're going to move them to align. Align, align, and align. And then with them in the align, we can move this down to desired track status, and that will be, see, 88, 87, they're counting down. Absolutely wonderful. So we'll put you into desired track status. All right. Those are aligning. Let's do a magic barrel ref. Let's head over to the flight engineer panel, and let's go ahead and set everything else up. We'll do a magic barrel ref check, and we are at 2989er, so we'll come up here to the top panel. We'll set 29er, 89er. Where are we? What altitude are we cruising at today? We are cruising over there at, why does it say 17,000 feet? That ain't gonna cut it. I don't know why it filed us at 17. We're going all the way up. Let's set 350. 350 is set. Check the last digit of BINS1. What did I mess up? 118.24.6. 118.24.6. Now we're looking good. Thanks for checking, though. You are responsible. You are just as responsible as I am. All right, pressurization is set. We're going to get the APU on so we can get some air to the aircraft. We don't have any air running right now, so we get the power switch on. We're going to get one fuel tank pump on, at least for the APU. Once we have power, we're going to go ahead and hit start. You're going to see the don't load and door in transit light, and we're going to go outside and take a listen to her spooling up. Oh yeah, look at that shot. You put 566, not 567? What are you talking about? Oh, I did the on the north coordinates. That could be a problem. .566. I do see that. We're gonna have to realign system 1 then. So let's come up here. Let's go standby off. All right, we're going to leave it off for a second. We're going to realign INS1. All right, back up to the top. And let's go to standby mode. And we're going to go north. 33567. Insert. West 118246. 33567 118246. Alright, now let's go ahead and get that to realign now. Probably could have just left it. Alright, she's realigning on number 1. That looks good. Alright, we've got everything aligning. The APU is coming up. Let's go ahead and turn the air bleed on. We'll move it to norm so we can get at least 2 packs going. So we'll go ahead and get the isolation. We can actually do 3 packs according to someone that left a message. So we'll turn those 3 on. And we're going to get the cross bleeds open for each. And we should get some pressurization going. We want to make sure we turn on the hot air valves so we can warm the air that's coming through the APU bleed. We'll go ahead and get the auto pressurization on. We'll do galley bus power 1 and 3 for right now while we sit and get everything else dialed up. Let's go ahead and turn our VORs on. Normal. Nobody on the ATC today, so we're going to go ahead and climb right up 340. Cockpit textures, MiGs, I love them, dude. I hope you'll see when I take off today. I was flying a test sector, trying to work on my yoke, and the lighting as it was coming through the cockpit panel, it looked so real, man. It looked good. I think the cockpit textures are some of the best any builds has done. It's right up there. I really like their 340 cockpit. It's right up there with their 340 cockpit. It is really well done. So, let's see. All right, so last thing we're going to do is we can import our waypoints. So this is where they really help you out here. We're going to go OFP. I'm going to reload to our current flight plan. This is us. We're going to Pomona. We're on a VOR route essentially, but we're going to use our INS. Now, how many waypoints do we actually have on this lovely flight plan? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So Chip takes us all the way to the runway. So we're going to be able to load up 9 full waypoints instantly. This is easier than programming the 737 FMC. So what you're going to do is you're going to just hit send to INS. We're going to go ahead and hit send to INS. And just like that, 9 waypoints have been imported. And you can see Pomona, Calby, all the way to Disby. So it's got almost all of them. There's actually going to have to do another load in. This might be the alternate, might be an alternate routing in there in the next batch. But just like that, she's done. She's loaded up. So we're almost ready to go fully aligned. Once we get aligned, we'll be able to see our position on the map there for you guys that like to see maps. All right, the next thing we got to set up is the PMS. We're going to go ahead and set the GMT time, which was 1356Z. 1356, we'll insert that. The gross weight of the aircraft, we're going to load it up here if you're using whatever it's called. Ooh, we're out of balance on this one. We're going to have to do some shifting here. We're out of balance. Let me do SimBrief import again, so it moves it there. Can I adjust where the cargo is? Forward cargo 30. Let's wait, that puts us at 379. Let me see our landing weight. Oh, we still got plenty of room. Let's increase the cargo. We'll be a little bit heavier. That's fine. Be a little bit heavy, but right now we're on the forward edge of that CG. All right, so that looks good. 386 gross. I'm just checking my weights here. It brings us up to 386. That's extra 10,000 pounds. We'll still be 10,000 below max landing weight, so that's good. So that's been set up. So gross weight is now 386.7. So let's come here 386, and we'll leave it. Probably could have done 387. Fuel for this particular flight, we've got 54.1. It will automatically do the decimal, so do 541 insert 54.1. The SAT outside air temp today is, if I go to takeoff per and just sync it, calculate it, and set it, it's 15 C. So we'll come here with a 15 insert. That is set. So we're looking for 0.64 on the EPIRS. That's going to be a pretty spicy takeoff sound. All right. So that looks good. Let's go next page. Flight setup, bottom, descent, altitudes, and speeds. Bottom descent altitude, I'm going to set you to, I'm going to set it for 10,250 knots. Actually, we can't do that. Oh, that's distance, sorry. Bottom altitude, reinsert that, non. Bottom altitude, I'm going to set 10,000. Insert. Speed, I want to be at 250 knots. We're going to have to come back with that since we kind of mess with it. Cruise, climb, altitude 430. We're actually going to be at 350 as our final. 350. And step climb if we need it. And more descent stuff if we need it. We'll get to that in cruise. It'll give us a top of descent. Then they'll land to landing data. So we'll leave you on takeoff 0.64 EPIRS. So they are set. We did set data and bug, so that is done. It looks like our INS is ready to go into nav. So align nav, align nav, align nav. Back down here. Remember what we want to do is do our track change, get it sequenced. Boom, 01. Track change 01. all that's doing is sequencing the INS, getting her ready to go, and we're pretty much done. Track change 01, insert. I'm going to put you on track and ground speed so we can monitor. I'm going to put you on distance time, 32 miles, 3.8 minutes to our first fix. That checks out because that's Pomona VOR. We have to do a manual SID. And I will put desired track status on this one, 075. All right, on that one. So I got our INSs. Now take a look at this. This is our display, which is pretty cool. You can see here, we're on the, I believe it's the LAX-1 to Pomona. So it's just going to be a radio nav departure. If you wanted to do an RNAV departure, you absolutely could. You could import it, and then you could fly it in RNAV if you want, but we're going to just be hand flying, enjoy the views this morning. We're going to make, essentially, it's going to be a left downwind departure out towards Pomona, and then this is our magenta line. It takes us all the way up to Salt Lake City. Well, it takes us all the way to Disney, according to that, then we'll have to resequence the waypoints. So see, we got Daggett, Charlotte, a couple more waypoints going into Salt Lake City. So there's our little magenta line map. We're going to move our radio to INS, radio to INS. We're going to press the, well, we'll get those after start. 340 is set. I'm going to set 250 knots on the auto throttle just ahead of time because I don't really know. Again, this is another question for the real L10 guys out there. What would you set your auto throttle speed window to for takeoff? Is V2, V2 plus 10? I'm not sure. I know in the 7.3 we set V2, but to make life easier, once we get airborne, if I want to just maintain 250 knots with the auto throttle, I'm going to pre-select 250 knots. All right, messing with the gods of simulators, messing with the INI EFB, leaving the door wide open to be WASM crash. Gus, knock on wood, I haven't had any WASM crashes in this airplane yet, so don't jinx me, all right? We're blasting off runway 250, which is going to be roughly 256 on the heading. Why am I using my mouse wheel? Let me use my actual Bravo there. 256. 256. And curious if we have actual charts now. We still have the old school. I don't know why. I don't know why that won't work. Hopefully that's not a sign of things to come. But let's take a look at our aircraft charts, departures, SIDS. I believe it was the LAX-1 that we filed. Yes, it is. So LAX-1, we're going to climb on heading, oh, I missed 251. 251, then a heading of 221. So I'm going to set, yeah, that's fine. We'll set the course line to 221. How's that? We'll set course line 221 to remind us. I'm going to go back to radio. We'll set course line of 221. Remind us. 221, heading of 251 is set, and this is off the LAX VOR. No, the first thing we're going to actually track to, since we're going out to thermal. Hold on, double check. What's SID? Was it that? No, it wasn't that SID. I don't think it was the LAX-5. There's a SID that goes northeast. Let me double check. Chatty 5, perhaps? Was it the Chatty 5? Nope, that's going north. Ocean, Lady J, RNAV, 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 RNAV. We could do this one here. Here we go. Let's do this one. We'll do the Sebi 3. All right, Seal Beach will be the first thing we track to, out to Daggett. And then we're going to go direct to Pomona anyway, but we'll put in Seal Beach 15.7. No ATC online anyways, we don't have to worry about it. So we got 15.7 is set for Seal Beach. And then we'll be going direct to Pomona per our flight plan. Let's get our taxi chart out. And we're over here, we're going 24 left for departure via Delta 10 Echo full length. All right, so that's done. That's done. Let's get on 22.8. And squawk 2000 TARA. All right. V2 plus 70 is what you would set in the window? Really? 155 plus 70, 210 or something around there. Does it actually show you? Yeah, V2 plus 7, 225. Oh wow, flaps up speed, 225. Okay, let's bug 225. We'll bug 225. All right, that is set. Magic Barrel ref is set. We're pretty much all set over here. Let's do a sweep of the overhead. Anti-skid is off for now because we got the brakes set and everything looks good. Let's get the seatbelt on, no smoking on. Now here is one last thing I want to show you before we get ready for engine start. The fuel totalizer and gross weight system. We got our fuel, 53.7. Any builds. We really need to make this larger or faster. Since it goes to 175, but our gross weight is actually going to be 386.7. And if I go to load sheet, yeah, our gross weight is 386.7. So you would have to scroll this for a very long time. So try pressing shift while scrolling. I don't think that will work. Let's see. Left shift? No. And if I click it, it goes back to 175. I don't know why it goes back to 175. I don't know if that's maybe that's a 2020 command where you press left shift and scroll. But I mean, you have to sit here for a very long time to even get to 200. Drew, when is this releasing? I'm not sure, but if it's going to release on Marketplace first, I would imagine there's going to be some type of update to come out first, right? So, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and scroll our gross weight to 300,000 pounds because this will be, we'll be here for 5 minutes. Maybe we can mess with it and cruise. Well, then they won't have a current gross weight. Should we wait? Let's just wait. What do we say, 300 something? Maybe any builds can tune in while we're scrolling, and then they'll realize that we need to fix this, make it a little bit faster. Hello from Indonesia. What's up, man? Would you say it's hard learning? I'm dreading having to use SIVA. It's not a SIVA, it's an LTN, and it's actually very easy to manipulate. Setting up the LTN, Drew, I'm going to make a dedicated video on it. It's very easy. The only thing you have to do if you want to use all the tools that AnyBuilds gives you for importing waypoints, you only have to program one waypoint, and that is your position. You only have to go to your chart, find your parking gate, or you don't even have to do that. You can just use the airport reference weight, and it's going to be on your SimBrief flight plan. It's going to be on your SkyVector flight plan. It's going to be on any flight plan that you have that has coordinates, and it will be in the proper format. You just put in that, and then you're done. And then all you have, well, you wouldn't be done if you want to use the old school way. Then you'd have to program all your waypoints. But AnyBuilds allows you to send your SimBrief flight plan directly to the LTN. So with one click, you can load in 9 waypoints. It could only hold 9 waypoints at a time. At the end of that 9th waypoint, you upload the second batch, and there you go. You're on your way. So it's very easy. It's almost like a modern FMC, the way AnyBuilds has allowed us to import points like that. So you just, like I said, one position, done. You can turn off the INS drift feature. If you turn off the INS drift feature, it will allow you to fly down to RNAV 1. So it'd be good enough for flying SIDS and stars, essentially, if you wanted to do that. And it having an auto load, if you have 12 waypoints on the SID, it makes it very easy. You just auto load the first 9, then you click the button and you auto load the next 9. So what do we got to go to? 386. Thank you, whoever said that, Flash Union. 386.7. We're almost there. What about direct beyond waypoint 9? So Dougal, directs, we'll go over directs today. It's waypoint change 0, 1 waypoint, or waypoint change 0, 5. You want to go direct to waypoint 5, but you can't go direct. You can go to direct to waypoint 9, but you can't go direct past 9 because it only holds 9 waypoints. If you don't change the waypoints after you hit waypoint 9, it will sequence back to waypoint 1. So then you'll make a 180 on the track route and really make everybody upset. So you just got to make sure you update it after waypoint 9. At least with scrolling, I could go get another beer and not miss anything. What's up, PomTech? I'm doing this on purpose so AnyBuilds will hopefully catch it, because this needs to be addressed. 386. And don't click it because it'll go back down. 386.7. Hey, 386.7 is set up. Okay, we're ready to rock and roll now. Gross weight is set. Let's go up to the overhead. Seatbelt sign. Let's get the anti-collision light on. Let's pull the jet bridge. And we're going to get out of here. I think the longest part today was getting the gross weight in. So we need to come off of, or we need to go onto GPU loading. So we're going to go onto GPU loading. We're going to go to min mode on the APU. We're going to turn off packs 1 and 3. Pack 2 is on. So now we're on APU power. Let's go ahead and disconnect. And now we can safely remove the GPU unit. We're going to go ahead and get our fuel tank pumps on. We're going to turn off all galley power for engine start. We kind of skipped a bunch of our tests over here, but that's fine. We spent a lot of time setting up everything else. And we're gonna, our hydraulics is set, so let's go ahead and disconnect you. And let's go ahead and get out of here. Anti-collision light is on. Everything is clear. A jetway is still attached. Let's go ahead and get rid of you. All right, jetway is being pulled back. And left Alt P, let's go. LA traffic, Delta 357 Heavy, gonna be pushing back gauge 133. We're expecting 24 left for departure. All right, so I'm just gonna hit Alt P once and we're gonna wait and see how long it takes. Not bad, so we got a 40-minute setup. We spent 7 minutes scrolling. We spent 7 minutes talking. We're pretty much at 30 minutes from start to push back in this thing. That's no different than any of our other modern jets. Watching For All Mankind, and this panel looks similar to the command module they landed on the moon. Zippy, it sure does, doesn't it? It's funny you say that, because I actually thought about that a little bit. More so like this panel. Like this panel. The hydraulics and fuel and electrical. But it's great. All right, 225, we're radio. We've got 115.7. We could probably tune LAX in here as well. LAX free, or the LAX free. We'll go ahead and brakes release. You are cleared to push when able. Hopefully she pushes back. I don't know why it takes so long, but maybe it just takes a while to get the juice fired up here. Are you still having a problem with autopilot modes? Reaper. So after some extensive testing today, we'll talk about this in cruise. I'm working with Vodka's helping me understand the CLS software more. He doesn't have the aircraft, so it's kind of hard. I'm working through him, through DMs, trying to figure out what settings to tweak. The autopilot is better than it's so 90% of my problems are coming from CLS software from the Brunner. However, even with it disconnected, it's not perfect. I would still like to see some improvements with the autopilot behavior on the aircraft. But what's happening essentially is when you engage autopilot, the CLS software does not go to inactive mode like it should with the autopilot engaged. So it lags the control response, and that's what you get those oscillations. But it is better today. I am tweaking, I'm getting the profile down. Let's go see, let's see what's going on down here. We are connected. It's trying to move the airplane. Look at the wheel. Here we go. 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 It just takes. It's just a heavy. It's struggling on the tug, I guess. It just takes a while. This is the same version as yesterday. Yes. And November 728 Delta Alpha. I was watching Royal Aviation L10 video. Hey, I watched that too. So did my wife. She fell asleep to it because I was watching it. I said, I'm watching this video. They noticed during crossfeed of number 2, they bumped up number 2. Yes, I'm going to try that today. So the Royal Aviation L1011 video, they actually used crossbleed on both engine starts. They use APU start for engine 2, and then they did crossbleeds for 1 and 3. And I'm going to try that today. We're going to try that today. No, it's not the parking brake. Brakes are off. But that's what it looks like, right? Brakes are off. All brakes off. Let's go ahead and get number 2 started, shall we? So we can configure for cross bleed. So we are, bleed is open. We're in min mode. Number 2 engine is up and running. We got more than 24 PSI for engine start. Let's make sure our sound volumes are set up. I don't know if this is intentional behavior, but it doesn't tend to save the audio tables. I already fixed it for the stream, so that's good. All right, let's go ahead and start engine number 2, please. Clear to start 2. All right, so we're going to use ignition A today. Number 2, start engines. Shh. That's windmill air start. Wrong button. I've done that twice. Started valve open. Looking for 20% N3. N3. Fuel on. Well, that's good with the pushback right there. I'm going to go ahead and stop you. Set brakes. Brake set, clear disconnect, shows the pin out front. Kind of pushed us a little wonky. Whoa, what is that? Reduced usage. Never seen that message before. Maxing out the GPU on that view switch there. Never seen that message before. All right, got a good start on number 2. So, do they close this breaker? We'll get generator on 2. Now I'm gonna see if I can configure for cross bleed. So we're gonna go 312. So we've got isolation off. I'm gonna close that. And APU air off. With APU air off, we should be ready to start. I'm going to give a little power to number 2. We do have 24 PSI. Run up number 2, and let's crank it. Oh, you're right, Vodka. It's the fog. The fog at Indie Builds LAX, yeah. Good start on 2, or on 1 rather, so we'll close that gen. All right, and now we're gonna configure number 3. So that cross bleed off will open this bleed. We're going from number 2 to 3. We got more than 24 PSI. Let's crank it.
Taxiing runway 24 left. The alley Delta 9 actually.
Oh, sorry, mic check. Flaps 10.
Flaps 4. Flaps 10.
Muted AF. Sorry. I'm going to change my flap view to be like YouTube flap view that I saw. Now, there's a United livery that I really like. They painted the end of the flap track fairings, which is pretty cool. All right, flaps 10 is set. Trim for takeoff, 4.4 units. All right, 4.4 is set. Flight controls. All right, full up, full down, left and right are all set. That is set. Ground equipment is clear. I want to turn cabin lighting essentially off. That looks good. We'll leave you on takeoff perf page. Initial climb, EBR 551. Let's go. LA traffic, AE Delta 357. Heavy, going to taxi 24 left, Delta 10, and Echo LA traffic. All right, taxi lights coming on. APU power switch is off. Brakes released.
Traffic for left. LA traffic, Delta 404.
Yes, yes. Echo 19 in the house. What's up, man? JM sounds were from a real tri-store that I recorded myself. Echo 19 audio, dude. I love them, man. The sounds. I am impressed, dude. I've compared them. I did a comparison yesterday of our takeoff video, and then there's like a Delta L1011 takeoff video I compared them to, and it's so good, dude. You did the airplane justice, and you actually, I feel like doing an aircraft like this, airplane that there's only one flying airplane left. Wow, looking to the left and my frames get smoked. Doing an aircraft like this that doesn't fly anymore, you're resurrecting and preserving a piece of history, of aviation history, man. I think you did a wonderful job. So, I absolutely love this little spool up here. Watch this. So good, man. I really, really enjoy the sounds, Echo 19. Oop, there goes the 7.3 old school widget. Let me see. My view is fine here. I feel like my view is shifting slightly again. You can actually single engine taxi this thing if you start engine 2 first. Manual says it's not recommended for trans or trans due to high weight. Really, TIR? Well, we're going to have to try that on another flight. We'll do a short. So that L1011 video that's on YouTube that's pretty famous for the takeoff, they're going Tampa to Atlanta in an L1011. I mean, come on. No wonder they went bankrupt back in the day. But yeah, we'll have to do that. We'll try to do a single engine taxi. All right, let's go ahead and slow her down here. We're going to 24 left, full length. One more turn here. We'll go Echo 7. Take it to Echo 7. LA traffic, Delta 357. I'm going to depart 24 left, Echo 7, LA traffic. Lights are coming on. Strobe. On.
High rep, no chop.
No chop, baby. All right, 251 on the heading, then a heading of 221. And actually what I'll do, I'll make this easier, I'll set course line here, and then I'll select heading 221. That'll make more sense, because then we're going to switch to INS and just go direct to, and I'll show you how to do a direct to in the INS. All right, we're lined up, we're ready to go. Who's ready? Yoga's in chat. Spool them up 50%. We're looking for 1.64 on the EPR. That's dang near full throttle here. I'll be quiet. Sounds are up. Enjoy the takeoff. Actually, hold on. Sounds are all the way up. Toga. Sim sounds, everything is coming down. All right, get back on the bank, and then what we're going to do here, we're going to sequence sweep. We're going to go direct to again. So we're going to go waypoint change 0, 1, insert. We got it resequenced. The desired track is about 645 on the, or 065 rather, which that checks out. So we'll keep coming left. Big left. 180 or 270 departure essentially here. You can see our distance now 35.8, 6 minutes to our first fix. I'm going to go ahead and select INS nav for the flight director. All right, INS nav is selected. sync everything up here. All right, there's 10,000. So our performance climb mode, we want to be around 320 in the climb. So we'll lower the nose further. And I'm actually going to, we'll keep it in IAS hold for right now. Initial climb was 5.5. It's actually a little bit more now, but I'm going to just keep you around 580. All right, let's get into our autopilot here. All right, so our INS nav, autopilot is coming on. Reselect INS heading. That looks good. Then I need to check something here real quick on you can see she's not going to do very good here with this. Let's go vertical speed 2000. Vodka, I checked. AP feature still said inactive. That's me. Uh-oh. 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 That's because I disconnected my yoke. I was trying to fix the autopilot. Gosh dang it. How many times do I have to learn not to troubleshoot on stream? She's coming back. We got her back. Delta 357, check your altitude.
You okay, company?
Same with the 7-4. Yeah, it doesn't, now Vodka, that doesn't work. I tried, Vodka and I were trying to set up a new profile for it, but that still didn't work. I'm going to resequence IAS hold here. Let's do 270 in the climb. And let's try heading, flight directors in heading mode. Heading mode, will she follow the heading? Yeah, see, today she just doesn't want to follow the autopilot at all. That's so frustrating. At least yesterday I had her follow the heading bug. Today she doesn't appear to want to do that. And it's Smoky Mountain Flight Sim, you're right, it is a Bruner problem. It is a Bruner problem. So what's happening is when you engage the autopilot, the aircraft should go into active AP mode on the CLS, but it doesn't. Let's see how is it starting to, well. Let me try re-engaging one more time here. I'm going to turn everything off. Heading, flight director. it's worse. Like it's this on this particular test sector. It doesn't even seem like it wants to follow it at all. So we're going to be hand flying it. There's 18 set standard. 290902 is set. Gosh, that's such a bummer, man. Smoke them if you got them. All right, we're back in INS nav. It's interesting though, because I had the same. I was flying earlier before the stream, and it worked fine. Well, I say fine. It at least did what it was supposed to do, to an extent. But I'm gonna have to talk to any builds on that, because what's happening, it should, when you engage the autopilot, it should set an AP flag, and it doesn't to the software. So basically what that means is with the autopilot on, the yoke still completely talks to the airplane because it has no autopilot signal. This is one of the only airplanes that does this. Bruner and fish for dinner, yeah. But pause flight, swap to different yoke. I don't have a different yoke. I would rather hand fly across the Pacific than go back to a spring-loaded yoke, my man. Could it be like old technology, control wheel steering? No, that's not it. What I don't understand is sometimes it works a little bit, and then sometimes it doesn't work at all. Like, how to explain that?
Hey, Captain. Cabin is here.
I'm gonna attempt an intermediate level off. Let's do some more troubleshooting. 250. Let's see what happens. Let's see what she does. Attempting here at 25. Turks, that's a good question for vodka. I know one thing is it's the old. I think this is the only airplane that I have in the sim that does this. So I don't know if it's a simple fix, like they could either turn something on or code something when you get to talk to the CLS. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know about the Moza, Mike. I don't know if the Moza has the same thing either. But right now she's pretty trimmed out. We'll go full screen cam. We're gonna get it figured out here. No worries. Moza direct input mode would work fine. Ooh, a direct input mode. I'm going to see what happens here. I'm going to disconnect. I'm going to see if I'll get her to... respond at all. Nope. Zoom climb 340. set everything off here. Okay, now, look, now she's talking. INS mode on. Now it's working pseudo. Alright, we're back. We're also max thruster. What's our E per climb? 711. Go up a little bit more. See, so now it's talking. It's weird, man. It's weird, Vodka. I don't know how else to explain it. I've never seen it do anything like this. Like, see, now it's gonna work fine-ish. Now it's gonna work fine-ish because we had that crazy disconnect. Because now it's working. That's all right. It's working now. I know it is. Look, it's 2,000. Actually, shallow you out and speed up a little bit here. Nothing to see here. Now we're back. All right. Doesn't force feedback work in Moza and 24 since 24 is a native integrated telemetry? I have no idea how the Moza works, man. I don't have the Moza, so I have no idea how it works. Now the force feedback wasn't. It's not. I don't know if it's kicking. It's not kicking off the output. That was me disconnecting it. So. I have a different profile that seems to work somewhat, and then whenever I mess with it with another profile, it won't. It throws it into chaos mode. But like this is it's gonna work now. So I don't know why. I don't know what happened. We got a red light down here. Electrical system. Open trip light was unlatched. Let's see. Yeah, that took care of that. All right, we're good. A little bit more juice. What's up, Swappy? Good to see you, man. I suggest disconnecting the autopilot on, reconnect before you take control. Well, yes, Vodka. That only works 50% of the time, though. I don't know how to explain it to you, man. The only way you're going to be able to figure it out or mess with it is if you get the airplane. See now it's working. I don't know. Did I read it right? This will be 340 on marketplace only. Correct, Bridman. Correct. Did I buy in pitch and roll? No, I did not. I did not buy in pitch and roll in the sim for yoke. No, I tried that. Did not work either. I did not buy in pitch and roll in the sim. All right, let's see if she levels. I bet you it will, because I'm using my 737 MAX profile. I made the 737 MAX profile a long time ago, Vodka, and it's the only one that seems to work with this airplane. I don't know why. See, like, here comes the level off. There's the altitude alarm. We're already going waypoint 6 to 7. That's good. Two standards set. Yeah, everything is set fine. She's going to level. See? I don't know how to explain it. I do not know how to explain it. But I'm happy it's working. Let's set auto throttle will actually work too. We'll go auto throttle. We'll do a 300 indicated hold, which should bring us up to 8.4, 8.5-ish. Might be a little much. 8.5. Man, that is cooking. Didn't probe through the altitude. Yeah, see? And like I said, it works now. So it's a force feedback thing. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know if I can mess with it. But 50% of the time, it works all the time. Happy weekend. Thanks for the stream. Lots of excitement for this aircraft. Mr. Anderson, what's going on, man? Welcome on. Yeah, we finally got everything under control here, so always hate when we have to lose control with the rotor. Causes issues, but all right, let's go back to our OFP. Oh, we had another page of waypoints. So if we look here, INS waypoints, we're going waypoint 7 to 8. So we're going to Daggett. And there's our waypoint there. Now, we're going to see what happens here when it's time to re-import. I believe all we need to do is click re-import again, and it will load the next batch of waypoints. You can see they're labeled SimBrief 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's Daggett. SimBrief 9 is Disby. So we're going to be going to Disby here in just a minute. Miles. Sunday stream with the cafe con leche like the old days. Man, you know what? Speaking of, I need to text the wife for one. All right. Now, Bill, how you been, man? Long time no see, dude. All right, so now we're going 8 to 9. So here is my question. Do I have to re-import, or will it automatically load the next one? We're going to find this out together. So we're using our fancy waypoint position. You can see, for those children of the magenta, you can actually follow your track. It's actually really cool. This is not just a GPS. It's actually an INS display program here that was available on the L1011. So it's not just something they made up. It actually was available. Now, I have never done this transfer. I'm curious if it will automatically load the next batch. If it doesn't, we're gonna be in a 180 turn back to waypoint 1. We'll have to stop it in heading mode. Let's find out together. Three, two. Ah, it did. Look at that. Automatically loaded the next 9 waypoints. That is so cool. You can see because they're already all imported. So it's automatically batch loading the next 9. So now we're going waypoint 1 to 2. You see how easy that is? I mean, this is what I really appreciate what AnyBuilds has done here with this import feature, because it is literally as easy as using a modern day FMS. It really is. Automatically imports 9 at a time. That's very cool. So the next 9 are going to take us out to Beaver. We got McAllister, Beaver, and that's INS 9. If we look here, we're going to find, there it is. So it's really SimBrief point 17. After SimBrief point 17, we're on the arrival. We're actually going to leave the arrival in INS so we can fly at New School. But Dreamerosity, absolutely, this feature will make an overnight long haul doable. It absolutely will, man. Overnight long hauls, much easier now. You can space those waypoints out too to really get some distance on them. A couple things I forgot, 1A and 3A transfer valves need to be open even when tanks are empty. So those are open. You can see our gross weight has gone down 378.8. We're looking good, 45 on the fuel. Want to keep everything pretty much balanced here, so we could burn from the centers to get them down to about 9,000. So if I turn off the tank 2 pumps, we're going tank 1 pump straight in. We'll go tank 2 pump off. Tank 3 pumps are on, providing fuel. I'm hoping to 1 and 3. We're not having any rollbacks. Remember what happened when you messed with the fuel last time? I do. We're going to see what happens here. We should start burning more from these inboard tanks. Gravity transfer 1A to 3A. So 1A. No, we don't want to do that. I'm looking forward to a long haul AT to Hawaii. Me too, Flashy Emu. Man, we'll have to see. I would like to do that with a bunch of Iveo standard folks. That would be a lot of fun. I might do it this week. I was going to fly TWA today, but then JFK, to me, I feel like we got to do a nighttime flight into Kennedy. So if I'm actually on long call duty right now for work. Depending on what happens today, we might do another stream this evening. We might double up. So now I have a profile that works. I'm just gonna have to stick to this profile when I fly this airplane until Team Vod can get his hands on it, because this profile works all the time. It doesn't have the right force curves that I want for this particular airplane. But I would like to do an evening flight into Kennedy. Long call duty. How's the 7-3 been treating me? Nabil, it's been it's wild, man. It's a fun airplane to fly. It's a hell of a lot of work. But it's been good, man. It's actually not as uncomfortable as I thought. All right, tank 1, 2, and 3 are all minus 25. They're fine, Flicks. But as far as the 7-3 goes, man, it's a different experience than flying the Airbus around. That is for sure. But it's a fun experience. I'm actually glad I'm on it. I don't anticipate leaving it anytime soon. What's cool about the 7-3, as I look at the pack panel here, where's the air conditioning, actually? That's what I wanted to look at. Right here. So this is essentially a very similar version to the 737 air conditioning panel, just there's additional buttons. So you can check the flight station, that would be the cont cabin in the 7-3, forward, mid, and aft cabins. Check galley temps. Now this is what and now on the 7-3, when you have the dial, it has, you can also go see the pack inlet, or the pack temp versus the actual temperatures in the gate, or in the cabin. So you have your Casper discharge temps, your inlet temps, your turbine inlet temps, ACM discharge, and the hot manifold. I'm actually not sure what this is. Is this like the mix? I'm not sure what the ACM discharge is. You got your hot manifold. This is the Casper discharge, so this is what's coming out of the Casper fans. So 25C, that's beautiful. We can select pack 1, 2, or 3 to verify. Cargo heat is on hot. The cabin right now is sitting at, it's actually a little bit warm. You can go duct pressure, or duct temp rather, or zone temp. So it's essentially the 737 cabin air conditioning panel, but with additional buttons. The system detail looks like something I would download from Riku for FSX. Flicks. Killing me, man. I know, Gus. To have more buttons than the 7.3 is pretty. To make one panel have more buttons. Now the question is, how are we going to warm? The cabin's not freezing. It's actually kind of warm. So discharge temp is at 75 degrees Fahrenheit, which is pretty good. But what if I want to turn it down? How does one turn it down? Cabin temp control. Let's mess with the flight station. So flight station is kind of hot. Let's see if we can cool the flight station down at all. There it goes. It's coming down. So the aft cabin always runs warmer than the forward cabin in most airplanes. So we'll knock them down. We'll do mid about halfway. We'll leave the forward cool. We'll mix it up like that. Forward, mid, aft. We're going to cool down a little bit. So very cool. All right, here comes another waypoint change. 7 miles. We're headed to waypoint 3. What is our ground speed, you might ask? 400 or 514 knots. Beautiful. Take a look at our fuel. Don't want to get left behind here. Fuel. These are coming down. Good. So we're burning from the correct tanks. 9.3 have stayed the same. Burning down from these tanks here. I love these gauges. Look at that. I mean, it looks so good, man. Do we need instrument lights still? Probably not. We'll probably do without the instrument lights back here. Alright, temps are coming down. Everything else looks good. Fuel dump. I was a little disappointed to see that fuel dump does not function yet. Oh, air cycle machine discharge. Okay, so that's basically the pack discharge. All right, thank you, 78 Delta Alpha. The fuel jettison is pretty simple. You turn the master on, you select which tank you want to jettison for. There is a limiting factor. You can only discharge below a certain total amount of fuel. I can't remember what it is in the manual, but there's a note in the Builds manual saying that fuel jettison is not implemented, but it will be implemented on a further update. So that will be important if you are doing, say, a long haul, and then for some reason you got to do an air return, you got to come back. You're going to need to do some fuel dumping. AJ, thanks for the $3 super chats. It's keeping the hot side hot and the cool side cool. Yeah, brother, that's what we want to do, AJ. That's what we want to do, my man. I might have to change my view. I think this wing view nails it, but I wonder if I should take it out of the window. You know, come out here a little bit. I don't know. I do like having the window on there. All right, let's go ahead and enjoy it. Plastic guard reflects the light. It's pretty cool detail. Yes, they do, Thrustset. They do. Yeah. The plastic on the panels. That's what I mean, like, look, you can see the three. I'm gonna zoom in here. I mean, that is just, it's great, man. It's really nice. At least the lights aren't JPEG, says the bill. Why does cabin temp gauge go to 200 Fahrenheit? Probably to measure 200 Fahrenheit. So what's interesting is having a hot air runaway in the 7.3 is actually very dangerous, and we actually just had some changes come to our manuals, which this is what's crazy to me, is the 7.3 is, I don't know how many hundreds of years old, right? And we're still getting slight updates and changes in our books about the 7.3. Like, okay, if this happens, we need to do this. Like, we haven't figured this out in 300 years that the 737 has been in existence, but having a trim air runaway or a hot air runaway in the 7.3, but last captain I flew with, he had one, and he said it was absolutely almost unbearable at one point, because what was happening is the air coming in through the ducts were essentially unregulated bleed air. I mean, extremely hot coming in. And it was they ended up having they did a diversion, but now there's some new language in our books for a trim air runaway or a hot cabin runaway, basically. And essentially, what you're going to do, you're going to turn the packs off. You're going to depressurize, and try to get control of it again before re-engaging it. But yeah, it's a hot cabin runaway is something that can definitely happen, and it can be debilitating. Cabin is super cold at 30F. Well, that's the flight station. Forward, let's see, forward cabin. I wonder, this has to be C. I think they accidentally put an F here. There's no way, because look, this would make more sense. Really? Is this really Fahrenheit? Is that a mistake? Let's see. Let's warm it up then. So forward cabin at 30 degrees Fahrenheit is freezing. You might be right. There's no way, though. Everything else is in Celsius, though. Thrustset says, for SimBrief to InBatch to work, do you have to be on the 8 or 9 leg? Can you do it anytime? So Thrustset, we just discovered today that if you're doing SimBrief import option, and you have more than 9 waypoints, once you send it to the FMS, or to the LTN, so once you click send to FMS, every waypoint that you have in your SimBrief flight plan is going to be sent over to your LTN. Now, the LTN only holds 9 waypoints at a time. We discovered that at the end of waypoint 9, it will automatically sequence the next 9 waypoints. As long as you see them all here in the imported section, they will automatically sequence. Now, this will be true even if you turn off the map display screen. So this is the map display screen. It's not a GPS. It's taking the INS position and displaying it over the INS route line, which is a real option for the Lockheed L1011. Not very common, but it is awesome that they included this because, like I said earlier, I think it's really going to make navigating the airplane much more comfortable for people that maybe don't want to or might be intimidated by this type of nav, because it does look confusing and it does look like it takes away from your sim time, and I totally get it. Sometimes you don't want to sit there and program waypoints. I totally understand that, and I think what AnyBuilds has done is kind of revolutionary by being able to import waypoints into the LTN. I don't know if there's an LTN waypoint importer even on X-Plane 12, Gus, is there? I think on X-Plane 12 you pretty much have to import everything. You can't, or you have to manually import. I don't think you can upload from SimBrief. Is turning INS on drift challenging? Seth, it's not. INS drift is on for me right now. The next stream, when we have a little bit longer flight, probably get over 1,000 miles, then I will get into INS drift and I will do a position update for you guys. And what I'm going to be doing this week in between flying, if I have time, is I'm going to be making shorter videos. I kind of want to do like L1011 tips in 11 seconds and make short form videos, like 11-second videos, that just real quick kind of do certain things, because the airplane is so fun to hand fly and it's really got a unique feeling on approach with the DLC. It's a very fun and enjoyable airplane. And what the tools that we have to make the navigation very easy, I don't think anyone needs to be intimidated by the LTN. I was telling XP72 last night in his stream that if you can fly the PMDG 7.3 or any 7.3 on your sim, you can fly the L1011. You're going to move less switches on the L1011 than you do on the 7.3 in pre-flight. Like it's very highly automated. It's very highly automated. 3 Peaks. Delta Fan, I didn't miss it. Sorry there, buddy. Thanks for the $5 super chat. Have you heard of Flight Sim Dispatch? I've been using it to find historic flights for the L1011. No, I have not, Delta Fan. Flight Sim Dispatch. I will have to look that up, though. That does sound very interesting for something that I would like. That's very interesting. Thank you, Delta Fan. Appreciate you, man. Let's go back and see what our cabin is doing. The galley's hot. 40. That has to be C. That can't be Fahrenheit. Oh, coffee delivery. Stand by. You have control. I'll be right back. Alright, we got a little coffee delivery, ready to rock and roll now. It's got to be bugged. It has to be in C. Right? Let's try something. Let's, oh, look. That doesn't seem right. What if we run everything to max hot? We'll see what happens. Let's see, those are auto, RAM auto. Drew, there is no, you can't put a modern FMS in there, but you can put the GPS 530 in there, man, or the Garmin. So there are options for the actual GPS. You can do INS plus GPS if you want to. You can put a GPS unit up here. I'm not sure if it will mess with it in flight, so that's why I'm not going to do it right now since we're already navving. Looks like we're still burning from the outers a little bit. But we're mostly burning from the centers. Let me see. So pump ones, those pumps are off. I wonder if I could transfer fuel. Pretty much there. Engine 3 tank valve, we want to keep that on. Those are all on. What if I open the crossfeed? I probably should have done that. Should have done that. As much as I love the INS, I'm scared to turn on INS drift on VATSIM. Seth. Well, so here's the thing. With the INS drift feature, if you're going to be flying a route that requires anything more than RNAV 5, to be 100% VATSIM compliant and draconian, you're going to want to turn INS drift off. Because by definition, INS drift on, you're only going to be allowed RNAV 5 and RNAV 10. Oh, I just spilled coffee all over my pants. Stand by. That's why I don't have I need a tray table. I need a tray table up here. Moment of silence for the spilled cup. INS Drift has a lot of fun with fixes. Yes, and Honolulu, I'm gonna, like I said, we may end up doing a long one tonight, or or later this week. But the next stream we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into INS Drift. I was a little bit bummed it took the wind out of my sails. I really wanted the Brunner profile that I had customized working, but it doesn't appear to be working today. I gotta go back to this profile. Looking at the diagrams, looks like engine 2 is drawing fuel from tank 2L and 2R, unless you open the 2 vertical cross feeds. Yeah, I think I just opened that, right? Let's see. Oh, the 2 vertical cross feeds. So now we're going tank 1 to 1, 3 to 2. These are cross feeding, which is fine, and then from the manifold in here. So actually, okay, so I think this is correct to try to catch up to our outer tanks. I think that is correct. Captain Iceland says I googled it and it's supposed to be C. Okay, good. I've never seen a cabin air in F. In Fahrenheit, yeah, it's up towards 40 C. So that's freaking hot. So yeah, we need to cool it down. So it's just I think it's a gauge printing error. Yeah. 40, it's almost 45 C. It's almost 100 degrees up there. INS cooling in op, that's interesting. Yeah, there we go. Now we're down to 30. Flight station is still super hot. It's 40 degrees. We'll see if we can't cool it down. Yeah, see, it's coming down. It's coming down a little bit rapidly, but it's coming down. NoCom 7600, welcome to Private Pilot, man. Glad to have you on board. All right, what I do need to do is check out LA arrival. So we filed the jammin'. which this is going to be interesting. So I was going to fly this with traditional nav, but let's fly it with the INS since we've already got it loaded up. But I tell you what we'll do is we will follow it in radio nav. We'll monitor. So we're going to come up Milford transition, which is 12-1. See if we can't tune in Milford. Yeah, we already got Milford. Cool. Course 2, let's get a direct 2, which I think we're going to Milford right now. Look at that. So we're going to fly it in INS mode. And, but we're going to back it up here with the rad nav for fun. I wonder why the middle contrail appears to angle downward. Middle contrail angles downward. Well, there's about a 5-degree deck angle, right? They're all angling downward. So contrails will fall down and away from the aircraft. So I really don't see anything wrong with that. They fall down and away. And actually in Microsoft, don't they move with the wind? Don't contrails actually move with the wind? So if you have a strong crosswind, it will drift left and right. I think I see from this angle it looks like it's really shooting down, but I think it's part of the, I think it's maybe an illusion. I don't know. By far is the INS the most difficult part for this plane? Lemon Wolf, maybe. I wouldn't say it's difficult, other than you just need to familiarize yourself with it. So the way we're using the INS today, it's pretty much hands-free. You know, we loaded it at the gate, and I haven't touched it since. So the only thing that you're going to need to do with this nav system that you wouldn't do in, say, a 737 FMC or a Airbus McDo is you have to know how to set your position. And I will make a dedicated 1-minute video on it because that's really all you'll need. You're going to set pause mode, and then it's going to ask you to put your position. You can see our position. This is our current lat long right now. It's currently moving. And this is actually how you would get into position updating, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But all you need to do then is then pull up where your airport stand is. And so for instance, we're going into Salt Lake. Let's see something different. So you go to parking gate coordinates. I mean, this was just your standard procedure back before FMCs. You say you're parked at gate Alpha 26. Here you go. Here are your coordinates. And then you just look at the keypad. The keypad is not just numbers. You want to look at the other information on the keypad. So 2 also has a what? N. That's for north, west, east, south. So Alpha 7 gate, wherever it was, doesn't matter now, or whatever gate we said. Say we're at this gate right here. You're north. So you would start by pressing 2, which is north. 47.2. You don't have to put the decimal in. It will automatically put it. You just put it in as you see. 4047.1, and then you hit the insert key. And then what is the next one? West. I believe it defaults to east, so you just hit the 4 key for west, put it in, insert, done. Once your position is in, all you got to do is import everything from SimBrief, and you're done, man. You're done. Turn INS drift off until you want to do more with the airplane. Until you want to learn more about the LTN, and don't have to worry about it. It's a done deal. Would you buy a feeless L10 for X-Plane? I would, man. I'm obsessed with the L1011, if you can't tell. And you guys are like, well, what, you know, I already told you I'm super biased. I want Any Builds to sell a lot of these because I want them to continue working on them because I'm biased and I love the L1011. And I also think it's a really cool airplane because it is a very modern aircraft for its time. I mean, even by today's standards, this thing can auto land. You know, it's got LNAV and VNAV capabilities. The aircraft actually did fly with a GPS 430 unit. There were some modern L1011 flying around with the GPS. You can look up the pictures on Google. So you just have to kind of understand the little quirks of it. You know, your little fuel management situation, which We're catching up now. Yeah, look at that. We're only 1,500 pounds off. We're catching up. Fuel management, starting engine, bleed air management, and then the autopilot. You know, it does everything your normal autopilots do. It's just split into 2 separate systems. And we'll talk about that more. The more they sell, the quicker they abandon. Flicks. I'm about to ban you, Flicks. L1011 outlasted the DC and MD11. It really did. Isn't that crazy? It has VNAV. I'm sorry. It has advisory VNAV, Drew. So it has an advisory VNAV, which I think we might have already blasted past. Yeah, we already passed it past our descent. We're going to start trickling down. I believe now, actually. I'm gonna mess with that on another stream as well, and we'll talk about it. Think of the VNAV like an advisory VNAV in the CRJ. So, if you set up your PMS, the Performance Management System, you'll be able to use an advisory descent profile to keep you on a path, essentially. But we're going to go ahead and start trickling down because we are at that point. So I'm going to use vertical speed because we are using the auto thrust management. So I've got us locked in at 295 knots. As the airplane vertical speed's over, the thrust is going to come back, right? That looks normal. That looks good. So we're going to keep trickling down. We're going to roll in about a 1,200 foot per minute descent right here. And we're starting down. Was it loud in the cabin, Drew? Yes. Well, by today's standards, yes. By the standards of the day, no, it was actually quiet. Now, if you think it's crazy, go watch L1011 takeoff wing views and tell me how crazy it must have been to be living in that golden era of the jet age when that takeoff was considered quiet. But it had one of the most comfortable cabins. I think it's got the best cabin even to this day. So you don't have center overhead bins. You have these vaulted ceilings. I mean, look at the space. You ran a 342 config. Had the airplane not been hosed by Rolls-Royce in the RB211, it would have dominated the skies, for sure. All right, we're going to keep coming down 1,500. Let's take a look at the weather. See what's going on here in Salt Lake. 310 at 3, so they're landing north. Great, that's going to make us tight on our approach. Let's plan the ILS. 3-4 left. ILS 3-4 left. We're not coming off of Fairfield, are we? I don't believe Fairfield's in our flight plan. Brighten up our paper flight bag here. Barrel Milford Delta jamming. I think we're landing the other direction in sim brief. So 16.8. I'd be curious to do almost a full procedure. I'm curious. Can I get a 16.8 dial in here? Can't yet. So, we're about 16.6 for Fairfield. because our flight plan had us going the other direction. We're 14 miles from 13. Why don't we do an old school hold? Should we do an old school hold? We'll break from the FNS, we'll hold over Fairfield, and set up for the ILS straight in. So, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go heading select. Heading mode. We're gonna go radio nav, 16.6. We're gonna center the needle. Oh, we need to fix the tanks that we feel we're catching up. We're trying to be equal. I was a little late because I was fiddling with Bruner earlier on the climb out. Let's go VOR nav, inbound to Fairfield. And we're going to descend in the hold to probably 12,000 because we got to talking and we got way behind. Coming in to Fairfield, inbound 10,000 minimum. Procedures are not authorized rather than airways, blah, blah, blah. We don't care about that. We're going to set 10,000. And we're going into the cone of confusion, so heading select. As we go over the top of Fairfield, we are going to hold. Oh no, wait a second. We're still 90 miles from Fairfield. Yeah, that's the INS nav. Okay, I was getting ahead of myself. We don't need to hold. Scratch that. No holding necessary. We're right on time. We're looking good. We're just going to level off a little bit sooner, actually. Let's go down to 14. We're just fine. Disregard. Got ahead of myself. Back to INS nav. The question is, have Fairfield in our flight plan? We do not. Delta jamming, and then that actually is going the other direction. So we're going to keep flying this way. We'll level off at 200. There we go. We'll level off at 200. Once we get a little bit closer to Fairfield, then we'll go Fairfield landing northbound. Home from church, what's cooking, Chad? Mickey G, what's going on, my man? We're on a descent into Salt Lake City. Delta livery looks great, except for feet. What's up, Fly USMC? Yeah, this livery looks really good, doesn't it? Let's keep an eye on our fuel. 9.6, we're getting real close. So out of 5,000 feet, AGL is when you want to configure your fuel, make sure everything is balanced. Essentially, you would burn from the centers until you reached your tip tank fuel. So if you took off with full fuel, and let's say you had whatever it is, so you had 70 in the side, you would want to burn out of 5,000 feet. You'd want to switch to this configuration, burn from tank 2 and or 1A and 2 and 3A. You'd want to burn from these until you got down to whatever your tip tank fuel was, 25, and then you would go into normal configuration and burn all three equally. So, how would you do a hold with this nav system? So, with this nav system, I don't know if you can hold with the LTN. Actually, you can hold with the LTN. That I don't know. I'd have to look into that. I was going to do an old school hold, but you can hold with the LTN. Kind of curious to see what would happen if I press hold. We're going 9 to 1 to our new waypoint. I'd have to take a look because I don't know. I don't know how to hold with the LTN, but I know it's possible. Let's increase 300 knots. Thanks, you Fly SMC. But that'll be on the next. So the next stream, because I wanted to go over position updating on the next stream. We're going to go over position updating, and I'll add hold to the list. I'm going to add holds with the LTN. Av Apollo, what's up, my man? The way God intended, tri-holders. Tri-holders indeed, man. Look at that thing of beauty. That is the goat of tri-holders. L1011 makes me want to light a Marlboro Red. Firefly, what's up, man? Hope you're doing well, buddy. Cathay Kitech Ops. Ooh, Kitech Cathay L1011. Man. Now I'm thinking about what I wanted to do tonight. Waiting for this release is keeping me up at night. Ricky G, it keeps me up at night even though I have access to it right now. Trust me. Still keeps me up. Alright, here comes, we're going to level at 20, right? Let's see if she levels. Please level. You've been doing so good. Altitude cap mode. Please level. She's leveling. Beautiful. We'll increase speed. Let's do 320. How's our fuel? 9.3. We're almost there. So there's a little, that's just a reflection on the inside. I mean, I kind of wish you could move that, make that black or something. Because I like this view in the window, but, you know, maybe I need to make the window view right past the fan blade so you don't see it, like right here. Oh yeah, that's the view. That's the view right there, actually. Boom, new view. Save that one. That's my left view right there. I vote Victorville retirement flight. All right, we're level at 200, inbounds, 54 miles from Fairfield. What arrival was this? The Jammin' 5? Yeah, Jammin' 5 takes us for landing south. But we're going to proceed direct to Fairfield. 50 miles out from Fairfield. We're going to go to Fairfield and we're going to shoot the ILS. Oh, the unretirement flight. I read that wrong. An unretirement flight. All right, let's go to Victorville. So, heading mode. Back to radio nav. Fairfield, VOR nav. Proceed direct to Fairfield. We're going to set up for the ILS from Fairfield inbound. Go to the approach chart. ILS 34 left. Fairfield inbound. We're going to cross Fairfield at 10,000. And let's see, we got 30 miles to descend to Fairfield. That's fine by me. We'll cross it at 10. The ILS freak is going to be 111.9 and 344. So I'm going to set that up over here. 111.9 and 344 on course 2. Just like you would a 7.3. Nothing hard about that. That hold button freezes the aircraft position when you enter new coordinates. Oh, that's right. Duh. Thank you. So you would hold old school. You'd either hold in heading mode or you'd hold in VOR mode. That's for the position update. That's correct. That's correct. Position update. Not hold over fix, etc. Now, I wonder if you can get the HSI to display the VOR distance versus INS distance. I guess you'd have to import the waypoint and go direct to that waypoint. I guess that's what you could do. Coming up at 30 miles, we're going to start down to 10 thou. Oh, we're probably over our fuel. Yeah, 200 pounds, close enough. Tank 2 and 1 pumps are all on. Cross feeds closed. Pumps on, fuel flows are holding, everything looks good. All right, tanked engines all set. Magic barrel ref as we get ready to descend to 10 thou. Down we go. We'll start vertical speed, new down. Let's do 1,000 feet per minute. You can get a similar taste of what the Delta 350's first class. No center bin, but again, that back when it was, that was next level. Oh, you mean in the space in the cabin? Yeah. Salt Lake is 4231 on the field elevation. Surprisingly enough, you don't have to put that anywhere. DA is 4429. It's going to be at 200. I hate opening that. That's why I never use Navigraph on sim anymore, because it just lags when you lock it in. Set 200 on the DH. Clear the alert. I don't know why you can't clear that DH light. That's interesting. If you need me, I'll be down in the secret galley. VOR is shown on the Airline. Yeah, I know what's showing right here, but I was wondering if you could instrument source select. Hold on. Flight director, yes, now. I was wondering if you could change it. You know what I'm saying? Like put this distance over here. But I think what you would do is you would just import the waypoint in the INS. That's what your flight engineer, first officer. Back in the day, finding those fixes was much easier. Can you press the marker lights? Yep, marker light test right there. That's all looking good. Brake select system B. Oh, we need to run our landing data. We'll keep an eye on that. We're 18.6. Let's go ahead and hustle down. Let's do about 1,500 feet per minute. And landing perf. So we need to check our landing weight. Current gross weight 368.1. We're gonna use, that's right at our max, I think. 368. Landing elevation 4400. Calculate and set the speeds. VAP 153, we need 7,800 feet. You cannot set the auto brakes until the gear is down, because the gear down is part of the mechanism for engaging the auto brake system. So if you were to set it right now when you lower the landing gear, or it actually wouldn't lock, essentially. So you have to select auto brakes after gear has been lowered. Long time no see. Hope you're doing well, Cap. Rubes, what's up, my man? Hope you're doing well, buddy. Welcome on board to our second L1011 stream of 50. Gosh, we might have to do Cafe Kai-Tech night stream tonight. Best forward speed, please. Michigan and Tennessee tip off soon. All right, next forward. We're doing 320 knots, man. I actually need a slow for the holding. Let's go ahead and knock it back. Come back to 250. Sounds are coming up a little bit. I think Kai-Tech is calling. The inbound course is 344. What's the reciprocal of 344? 124. So we're going to turn to 124 outbound. We're essentially going to hold on the inbound radial. We need to slow down here, crack the speed brakes. Now, there is one thing I believe I'm doing wrong. Is there's a DLC range to land and have the spoilers deploy. I don't know if you have to manually touch the disable button on the spoiler. I'm not sure, because last time I landed, I don't think the spoilers actually deployed fully. They stayed in the DLC position. Back to heading mode. I'm going to set course line 344. Heading around, here we go. Actually, we're picking up. We are picking up the signal, but we're too far. 33 miles out from the localizer at 11.9. So 344 is, of course, we want to hold on, turn it outbound. We're slowing at 240. Make it 230. Flight attendants prepare for landing. Seatbelt no smoking is coming on. Love the L10 content. Great background noise to help with spring cleaning. What's up, Bills Mafia? An unretirement flight on release day. You know what, Flight Sim guy? That'd be a good idea. Out of Victorville. We're going to proceed outbound, 10-mile legs, 5 miles to go. I do have the Victorville scenery, you're absolutely right. Where are we going to go? Victorville to Denver and United? Or Victorville to, no, Victorville SFO? I don't know, where are we going to go? What's wrong with the crossfeed? No, crossfeed's fine. Pumps are all equal now. We're 400 pounds off because I missed it by one, but that's all right. It's 164 outbound. 230, flaps 4, 188, 178, 168. Min speeds for extension, 250, flaps 4. We actually need to burn a little bit of gas because we're butting up against our landing weight, aren't we? What was our max land? Yeah, 368. So I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and go flaps 4, burn a little extra gas.
Flaps 4.
Flaps 4, coming out. Set. All right, heading back around. Lights on. Victorville to St. Louis T-Way ops. Ooh. What about Victorville to Kennedy? It's a long flight. All right, 10,000 feet. Lights are coming on now. We're actually 10,000 above field, so that's all good. These are all info that can all stay off. That looks good. Flight attendants are notified. Look at the dash as the sun. Look at that. So that's what I was talking about on my test flight. When you turn and the sun comes into the cockpit, it looks incredible. The contrast on the gauges are just chef's kiss, man. What's that? Oh, traffic signals. All right. Join the 344 inbound. Any Transcon westbound? I don't know if the winds are howling enough to make it a good Transcon. Salt Lake traffic, Delta 357 heavy. We're 10 miles from Fairfield. You are set up for the ILS 34 left, Salt Lake. Slat juice, 10 for 10. Victorville, Kennedy, Eastern Ops, or T-Way to MCI. We could do MCI. Track it inbound, please.
Public traffic, Delta 404. southbound. That did it. Approach leg on the 16 left.
We're actually too close. We're actually at 3 miles, so we'll go heading bug. And we'll flip frequencies to the approach freak of 11.9. Passing over Fairfield now. We might have to track. We'd have to go back to Fairfield. How far is it from the road? Microsoft localizers don't let you go out very far every day. 16.6. Track this for a little bit until we start picking up the lope over here. Victorville to V1's favorite, Denver. You know, I do really like the United livery. Look at the, see, that's what I'm talking about. 10 out of 10 on the sun coming in here in the cockpit. It looks real. Oh, I think we're getting localizer deviations finally. Yes, we are. So, 111.9. Course 344 inbound. Localizer inbound join track, please. We'll see how she does. Wish I could check the wind down there. Check from my iPad. Xcoder Denver does look good these days. I do have Xcoder Denver. Out and start slowing up. Below 230, flaps 10.
Flaps 10.
There's a METAR on the PFB, is there really? There's a tab on one of the pages. Maybe en route? No. Oh, METAR. Wind's calm. Alright. Cool, wind's calm. We're inbound right now, Paxman. Oh. Above the localizer. I kind of want to see if we can get it to capture. We'll set up a pseudo auto land here. Be good testing. Slope from above. Oh, we need flight recorder, chat. We need flight recorder. Recording's on. Gear down. Auto brake, medium, armed. It's a little off on the load course. see what happens. Flaps 14.
Flaps 14.
Flaps 18.
Flaps 18.
Blinded by the light. You start flying into sunsets, much better. That looks great. Now, I probably should have loaded into this airport to make sure it works. We do not appear to be tracking the localizer very well, do we?
2500.
Which does not appear to be on the road. We're going to hand fly this one. Unless it's off. I don't know. Something doing something. Maybe it's the scenery. Who knows?
Flaps 22.
Flaps 22. After flaps 30, DLC will activate. So selecting flaps 33 will effectively activate DLC, which we're going to select right about now. We'll do 153. Flaps 33, ready to hear, fuel set. Here we go.
Flaps 33.
And DLC is popping up. You see that? So now we are DLC engaged and active. Maybe it's lining up for the old runway. Let's hand fly that. I'm not sure which spayware this is, Flight Sim guy. Whichever one is on the marketplace is the one I have. Auto throttle's away. I connected my yoke. You see that? As soon as I connected my yoke, things got funky. I don't think it ever captured the localizer, guys. No, it says it's captured. See even the localizer guidance. Look at the lateral command bar was not where it was supposed to be. It's on ILS. Yeah, it could be a scenery thing. That looks very scenery-esque right there. All right, we're stable. DLC's active. Recording is on. We're looking good. A little bit low corrector. Just small, fine movements. Let those spoilers sink back down. Look at that. Get a little perf, get right back on it. It's I want to say sensitive, but it's balanced. It just feels so balanced when you have DLC. You don't really have to move the thrust at all. Let's see if we get a better landing than we did in Jamaica. Maybe. 60 knots. Manual brakes, auto brakes should be disarmed. They are. We'll take the next turn here. at Salt Lake Airport. I mean, this is payware scenery. It looks pretty terrible. Yeah, it's really. All right, let's clean it up.
Flaps 10, flaps 0.
Salt Lake traffic, Delta 357, have a clear up 34 left taxi to the gate. RP Gamers, welcome to Commercial Pilot Upgrade, man. Appreciate you. Thank you, sir. All right, we'll clear the flight director. Oh, I didn't have both flight directors on. Maybe I was supposed to. I mean, I know I was supposed to, but I wouldn't have had to do that. I don't know. Flaps are coming up. Flight directors are cleared off. Let's get the APU powered up.
Only traffic Delta 404, 10 miles, 16 left.
Let's stop the recording. Take it into the gate. No, shin kicker, same build that I had last time. So I have my default rudder profile, which has a pretty good curve, but I'm almost wondering if it's too much of a curve, because you know if you have too much of a curve, sometimes you get behind the airplane in terms of oscillating like left and right. I wonder if I have to go more linear on the rudder pedals. That's one thing I have noticed. If you have a more sensitive rudder, then sometimes it's easier to track centerline than with a large delay or curve. I just have a default profile, so I'll have to look at that. The auto brake is off. Auto brake is off. It's no longer armed. This is the auto. I can do anything I want to this thing. Put this off. Pass the gross weight fuel bug to any build so we're not scrolling for hours. I will. Alright, let's go ahead and start the APU. Don't load light. Doors in transit. Alright, we're cooking now. Wow, this scenery is terrible on frames. How many times? Every time I come to Salt Lake, I say I'm not coming back to Salt Lake. And this is why. Vodka says he may have a fix for the AP issue. I eagerly await your maybe fix. I mean, that's insanity how bad the perf is at this airport. You know what? Didn't I delete this payware airport because this is a 2020 airport and I said I'm never coming back to this airport and I just bought it again? Oh my gosh, I am not smart. Yeah, we're gonna just park this thing because this airport is killing me. This is PAC-SIM. This is PAC-SIM? I don't know, but this is, I mean, look at this. I'd rather have default. Rather have default. Freeware is definitely better. Park brake is set. I have realistic braking on. Park brake is set. And APU, it works when we do this. We're going to close the gen. APU is on. So, stand them up, shut them down. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Salt Lake City. Oh, maybe it is Field Airline. Whichever one is in Marketplace is the one I bought. I don't want to connect the jet bridge. We're going right into replay mode. I got brunch to hit. I'm already late. So here we go. We're going to disconnect on my Veo standard. AJ's on in his own. We're going to go right into replay mode. Oh, this is... Oh, yeah. See, we have our waypoints, everything loaded up. Cool. All right, let's see this. Replay on.
Flaps
Oh,
10.
I forgot to turn the engines on. Should be back on. Engines are back on. Everything is reloading. Looking good. The sim load in. Oh, no, I think they're spooling down, aren't they? Yeah, they're spooling down. Stop. Replay. Engines are back on. No! It worked the first
Flaps
time.
14. Flaps 22. Flaps 33.
I started the replay mode with the engine switches off. So now we're engineless. Amazing how feel there makes you feel like you're not there. Totally, man. Awful. Man, let's see how we did. That sucks. In Jamaica, we restarted the replay and it worked just fine. I just was thinking, you know, I was so excited for the L10. Oh, yeah, we definitely did better. Definitely did better today. Hold that nose. Deployed. But see my spoilers? Well, it's going to be off because my engines aren't running the hydraulics. Stop the replay.
80 knots. Flaps 10.
Nah, it already killed it. It already killed the engines. Hold on. Auto panel states ready for takeoff. Let's see if it will do it. Nah, it's a replay thing. It's a replay thing. I'm gonna see if it'll auto start them, but I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it auto start. I'm gonna get out of here because we may do a stream later
Flaps
today.
14.
I'm gonna continue to work with the Bruno. Oh, you can hear the flap sounds. No, it's not Paxim. It's definitely Theo there. Then
Flaps 18.
Mr. Anderson, glad you liked it, my man. Appreciate you. Wise, yeah, it's not Paxim. Sorry, this is Field Air. This is Field Air indeed. That's on me. One thing that they need to address, I think, in the auto start. Oh, it is starting number 2. Let's see if it starts them all up before the stream ends. So we shall see. But oh yeah, they're spooling up now. All right. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate you. Can't wait to get your Salt Lake City soda pop. I'm going to get out of here. Keep an eye on the alerts. We might do a Kitech night stream, Cathay Pacific into Hong Kong. That might be the ultimate juice. But I'm going to continue to work with the Bruner, try to figure out what I can do with this autopilot thing with the Bruner software. And then we'll also take a look at position updating on the LTN and manual waypoint entry, perhaps. Everybody other than AJ and Turkaren and Flix, who do nothing but shit on any builds, thank you for this tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the stream. And I'm going to try to stream later, Mickey G. We'll see. We'll see later, man. I'm really going to hope we can. It depends on if I get slapped with a trip or something tomorrow. So I'm out of here. You guys have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Stay safe. Stealthy MV1. See you.
Flaps 33.